In 2014, taxi drivers across Europe and the United States began blocking highways in protest.
This morning, after a taxi strike paralyzed transportation across the continent.
One big taxi stand. But these taxis, around 12,000 of them, weren't for hire.
Thousands of cars, entire city centers gridlocked. Drivers in Paris, London, and Madrid shut down roads and surrounded government buildings. The reason? A smartphone app. That app was Uber. And in less than a decade, it managed to do something no competitor had ever done before: break the global taxi industry. This is the story of how one simple idea, tap a button, get a ride, collapsed billion-dollar taxi markets and changed transportation forever. The taxi business followed a system that had barely changed in decades. Most major cities tightly controlled how many taxis could operate through special licenses known as medallions. These licenses were limited, which meant they became incredibly valuable. In New York City, taxi medallions once sold for more than $1 million. Drivers often took massive loans just to buy one. For many, that license represented their entire financial future. But the system had problems. Finding a taxi during rush hour could be difficult. Some neighborhoods rarely saw taxis at all. Payments were often cash. And new players had almost no way to enter the market until smartphones arrived.
iPhone.
In 2009, two entrepreneurs, Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp, believed transportation could work differently. Instead of standing on the street, hoping to hail a taxi, you could request one from your phone. Uber launched its first service in San Francisco in 2010. At first, it looked like a luxury product. Black cars, professional drivers, higher prices than taxis, but the technology behind it introduced something new. Passengers could see drivers approaching in real time. Payments happened automatically, and both drivers and riders rated each other. For the first time, the entire ride experience became digital, but the real disruption came 2 years later, the moment the taxi system broke. In 2012, Uber launched UberX. This version allowed almost anyone with a car to become a driver. No taxi medallion, no million-dollar license. Just a car, a smartphone, and background checks. Suddenly, transportation supply exploded. Instead of a city having a fixed number of taxis, thousands of new drivers could join almost instantly. Customers loved it. Wait times dropped, prices were often lower, and the app showed exactly when your ride would arrive. Within a few years, Uber expanded to hundreds of cities around the world. By 2015, the company operated in more than 300 cities across 6 continents. The traditional taxi industry had never faced anything like it. The collapse of taxi medallions. The biggest impact appeared in the value of taxi licenses. In New York City, medallions had once sold for more than $1 million. But as Uber drivers flooded the streets, taxi revenue began to fall. Fewer passengers meant lower earnings. Those expensive licenses weren't worth what they used to be. By 2018, some medallions sold for less than $200,000. An asset that many drivers had borrowed heavily to buy had lost most of its value. For some drivers, the financial impact was devastating. The system they had invested their lives into was collapsing. Protests around the world, taxi drivers fought back. Protests erupted across major cities. Drivers blocked highways in Paris. Demonstrations shut down traffic in London. And taxi associations in dozens of countries demanded governments ban ride-sharing apps. Their argument was simple: taxi drivers followed strict rules. Uber drivers often didn't. In many cities, taxis required special licenses, inspections, and regulated fares. Uber operated under a completely different model. Some governments attempted to restrict or temporarily ban the company. But by that point, the shift had already begun. Millions of customers had experienced something better: transportation that felt faster, easier, and often cheaper. And once that expectation changed, the old system struggled to compete.